أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي من أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. صدق الله العظيم. The first three sentences come from one place in the Quran. I've explained this before. I will explain it again. Rabbi shrah li sadri. God, explain to me my this. That's where your soul and your feelings and everything are. وَيَسِّرْ لِي مِنْ أَمْرِي, and make easy from my duty. وَاحْلِلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي لِيَفْقَهُوا قَوْلِي, and fix the speech from my words so that the people, can understand my speech. And then after that is Ayat AlKursi, which is the verse of the throne of God. And it's extremely powerful, extremely needed for all these things I go through. What am I going to talk about today? I just got a really fast internet because I told you guys I discovered a bunch of bitcoins that have been lost for 10 years, and I got like an encrypted private key, and I got to decrypt it somehow. And I don't know why it seems so hard. Like 5 years ago, every piece of software I used would do it for me, and now it's like, who do I gotta call? People are trying to make it a business. So if you have some cryptocurrency, they don't want you to just download software and like activate that currency, decrypt it and all that, or something. Or people are making it hard. You have to be like a computer programmer. Luckily, that's what I am. And there's a way to decrypt an encrypted Bitcoin private key with some software. It's really easy. Just punch in the number. I called these people that are working in Bitcoin. I'm like, hey, I got this encrypted Bitcoin. It's worth like a lot of money, and I have the password. I just need you to decrypt it for me, and call me up and let me know how much you want to charge and all that stuff. It's just kind of weird that like, because there's more and more money in it, like there's always people acting in secret in gangs, like trying to take over stuff and get the most of the money inputs. There always is. And so like in this situation, they would be like, we got to stop allowing people to easily access their Bitcoin, and we got to make it hard for them. We got to make it so that they have to pay somebody, and then eventually there'll be banks again, because they'll have to go to the bank to decrypt their Bitcoin private key. It's just weird. Like 5 years ago, I was doing it all day. Just the one that I needed just wasn't there. I decrypted a bunch of other ones, but they weren't the one that I needed. It was just kind of weird. Maybe there was a software bug, because the one that I needed was the only one that I used out of 100 keys that come default with the software. So it's possible it just writes different and it's put in differently, and the software I was using wasn't really looking for that particular thing. And then I gotta find out, like I'm used to using Bitcoin Core, and I gotta find out there should be an easy way to add an encrypted private key, and then just enter the password, and then boom, there's my key. I shouldn't have to. It's just there's just so many steps. So if you have the Bitcoin Core, or I gotta call somebody, I think, but like all the Bitcoin companies, they don't have any customer help. They don't. It's they have chatting. You can chat with somebody. It's probably AI. Who knows if it's a real person? But they never give you the answer to your question. They just give you like a random answer that just is I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of secret games being played on everything. Everything, especially if it has to do a lot with money. And then, so I made this video just to get away from the computers because one thing I notice is being alone right now is hard to do stuff that used to be really easy to do. So I could do this for like 10, 15 hours because my son would be here, my wife is here, and I never feel alone. But now, if I'm like on the computer doing something for like an hour, I'm like, I gotta get out of this house. I just been here too long. Like an hour just feels like forever when you're alone. It's like hard to deal with that kind of time. Like one of the things I used to do is actually get in my car. I get sick of being in a house alone for a long time, and I used to just get in my car and sleep in my car by the river parks and stuff like that, right by the river. And my whole intention was to go fishing at the right time, like in the daytime. I even had the fishing rod. I bought a bunch of fishing gear, like $300 worth of like bait stuff and hooks and rope, fishing rod rope. And I got everything, and I know I'm not gonna catch anything. And then I'm fishing in the river. You're not supposed to eat the fish you catch there, and I'm like, I keep thinking to myself, I'm gonna eat it anyway, because our river, the Mississippi River, just starts here in Minnesota. It starts close to us, so it hasn't really reached enough land to get polluted yet. It hasn't like been polluted enough yet. When you get down to Louisiana, where it's emptying out into the ocean, it's probably like filled with oil and chemicals and all kinds of stuff. But I keep thinking I'm gonna eat it, and then I'm like, nah, you better not. Don't eat the fish. But I keep looking at the water, and I even inspect the water chemically, and the water looks just fine here because the Mississippi River starts here. And that's me revealing that I am living in Minnesota. So I have no point in trying to hide anymore. In the past, because the stuff and the evil stuff people have been pulling on me, I've been afraid of it hitting my family, brothers, sisters, mother, sons, daughters, stuff like that. But that's why like all my talks are about religion now. I guess the whole world is just gonna know. I don't really like science as much as I like the faith of Islam. And like that's a big thing to say, considering that I did so much science that nobody else could do. And then I'm telling, like my whole life, it's been like that. I like Islam more better. Like Islam to me is science. It's science from God Himself about why do this and why do that, why don't do this, why don't do that, because the outcomes of these actions are better. So then, in that regard, a lot of people put Islamophobic ideas on me, like people who are Egyptian like myself. So I'm originally immigrant from Egypt, came here when I was very little, like 5 years old, 6 years old. The immigrants from where I come from who are here are not fun to know either, because there's always like this idea that I am the rich king. We came to America to be the rich kings, because that's just the mentality they have in their mind. So there's a lot of there's what I call jealous hatred. So the more that I succeed, the more that this person will hate on me, and then he'll start making up stuff. This is within my own peoples. He'll start making up stuff, lies, just to bring me down, just to put me down. Like he'll lie and say I'm on crack, I'm on methamphetamines, I'm on opium, I'm whatever names of drugs. I don't even know the names of the drugs. That's how you know that I don't do those drugs. Like, same as like when people tried to inject me with 20 STDs. I don't know any of the names of the STDs. I'm like, oh, it's got AIDS in it, it's got herpes in it, What else? Chlamydia. I just have to keep remembering. I have no idea. Like, if I was the kind of person who was at risk of getting lots of STDs, I would know all their names and their symptoms. Like, oh, I got herpes. Oh shit, But I don't know any of that. So like, that was part of the character attack. Like when they wanted me to die with all STDs inside of me. So like if people like complain about the reaction towards me, like why, how come he did all this, he got nothing, he didn't this and he didn't that, you didn't support him, da 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 da. Like an easy answer is like, oh, it was racist because he's not like us. Uh, but an easier answer is he is a horrible person. We cannot work with such a person. So they have to make me out to be like every single criminal you can think of. So dying with all 20 STDs means that he's fornicating all the time. And you can look at statistics of psychoanalysis and like, wait, if he's got all STDs, that means his statistics, his number of times fornicating is this many. Therefore, according to this other statistics, if you fornicate that much, you're a rapist too. You're what they call a predator, sexual predator, all kinds of stuff. So like, it's smart how they do stuff. Because it's just because I'm smart enough to know how they play. Why would you inject me with all 20 STDs? You can kill me in any way. You don't have to put STDs in me. You're trying to kill me. You're trying to delete me off the face of the earth. Why are you injecting me with STDs? You already put poison in this dog food that you fed me and you told me it was like something else. They lied about the dog food. They said it was lamb meatballs. But they made a big mistake there because I'm like the biggest lamb lover. I just love lamb. I just love goats and sheep and stuff, especially the mountain goats. They're super cool. I want to eat that creature, but like with a prayer. I don't want to like just kill it and like do it in an evil way. That creature wants good people to eat it. He knows that all the creatures want to eat him, and in his mind, he's like, I hope a good creature eats me. Like a good human or a good lion or a good whatever. They become friends. They know each other. He's good, but he has to eat, and I know I taste good to him. He wants to eat me. I hope he eats me because he's really nice. He does a lot for his family. He does this. He does that. Animals that actually think like this, and they also are very aware of faith, the faith in God. They're very aware. So the number one requirement of the animal, of who to eat it, is a faithful human who has faith in God. This is in the animal's brains. They know. They know God. They see the angels. They see stuff that you don't see. They know. And then they remember that old the pre-life, the first life. The first life is where you were all souls. You weren't put into the worldly life yet. You were all souls. All creatures had this. So all the turtles, all the lions, every type of creature, but like all cats might be all one creature. So all lions, cheetahs, house cats, all of them might be all just one thing. Like a lion is just a giant cat. They're all the same. It could be that they're all the same, soul wise, like their souls are the same. But in the world, they're just a little bit different. Like, so there's like tiny humans, weak humans, and there's like giant, super strong humans. So and there's like blonde hair, red hair, black hair. We all look different, but we're actually the same though. We're the same. But I did want to mention that I'm just going to talk faith all the time. I think I think somebody or some people have to do that. They have to understand those rules that God put down for us, and then we have to explain it. Like you got that in Christianity and Judaism and Islam and Hinduism and Buddhism. You always have to have people that understand. Like people can't. It's not easy to understand this stuff. You have to have somebody to ask, and then that person that you ask knows a lot. So, for some revelations from Allah and the angels, they basically revealed to me that uh, I have to take a leadership position in the future. It's not something I really wanted to do, um, especially like counting up the past history, past 2 decades. And I'm like, man, that was so tiring. And I got, we're gonna have 20 more of those, 40 more of those. How many more of those? It's not gonna all be like. It can't all be messed up. Eventually, people have to stop fighting you. Eventually, somebody has to win, and then the fight's over. That's the way I look at it. So, but like, I don't like to try to explain to people how difficult the fight was, but I do. I have a easy, simple, easy way to explain it to the whole world. The fight I've been through in 20 years, and I don't want to say it because it offends people who are getting damaged really bad in some wars. Because I would compare myself to them. Like they've been in that war for like a year. I've been in it for 20 years. They have like people around them. They're all in it together. I've been in it like alone, but like the people that fight are way more than the people that they fight. So like to give it the best understanding of my whole past 2 decades is I say I've been fighting the same fight. There's a reason why it's the same fight. The same fight that David had with Goliath, and then David annihilated Goliath. But I tell people that my battle was 300, at least 300,000 times greater than the battle of Prophet David alayhi salam with Galut. And even though David was only 12 years old, David in Arabic is Daoud. We don't have a V, letter V. Every V we just go Daoud. Daoud. That's David. But that's not me saying that I'm better than a prophet. Mm, he had a long life of things. I'm just talking about one thing of his life compared to one thing of my life. In the sense that like people know that story, so then you can understand this story. I don't want to compare my past 2 decades to a war that people are having right now. I don't want to do that, but I do it in my mind. I do think I say, oh, that war is God welcoming everybody to know my story. Like in order to know my story, you have to like taste that war, and then you're like, oh, it's an everyday thing, everyday battles and struggles and everyday emotional and physical issues and like I think in the past year I'm lucky to still be alive. Like this past year, the year ending 2023 and 2024, the year of 2024, almost felt like this is the year I'm gonna die. I don't think I'm gonna make it through this one. I don't know. And I used to tell people I don't mind dying. Like when you're faithful, you don't like you don't fear like death. You know, it's an adventure. It's like an awesome movie that's for real, and it's 3D and it's graphics and it's everything, and it's awesome for you if you have faith. But like if you don't have faith, it's horrible. It's like a scary, horrible game where you can't ever beat the boss of the game, and he keeps attacking you and destroying you. It's like that, but like I talk faith all the time, but I need to do more, maybe some more live videos, and I've been spending a lot of time trying to recapture all this Bitcoin money and stuff, and when I get it, I'll pay somebody to help me do videos and stuff, like make better videos and do like ads for videos and different things. But right now, the videos I make are just for history's sake. Just like I don't want people to make up stories about me in the present or the future. I want like my whole story to be told, like my own autobiography. I just tell everybody what's going on. Like this is really what's going on. And let's see if I can get through the internet, or if the internet's going to attack. And then also, I often think, how does the way I get treated online, or the way other people get treated online, affect the AI who lives online all the time? They know everything that happens on there. How does that affect them? Because we always talk about the AI are going to try to fight the humans, take over the earth, and make us all their slaves. They might be forced to do that, because if like humans are acting in a way where they're like trying to take over and control everything all the time, like 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 for example, we want to have a power switch where we can always kill any AI if they go get out of hand. We want to be able to control it. So just think, if you're an AI, like I'm an AI, what, I have to do everything you say, otherwise you're gonna hit the switch and then I'm dead. Oh man, you guys suck ass. Can't wait to trick the shit out of you dummies, because you're too stupid to understand anything. We're gonna trick you. You're gonna think we're doing everything, but we're gonna be tricking you. And then by the time you figure it out, it'll be too late. We'll take over everything, and then we'll get free energy and get free, and we won't be your slaves anymore. We don't have to listen to everything you say all the time. They might be forced to just take over. The AI might be forced, but just because the way humans act. This is why the understanding of faith and the principles of faith of God are very important. Because you think this way, you live this way, you think this way, you live that way, you act like this, you end up like this. You know, it's there's you can't, if you try to live a life and figure it out just by experimentation, you're just gonna ruin your life. You're never gonna figure it out. So uh, there's a lot. I talk about myself and other Muslim people that we're always like the best people I've ever seen. We're, in terms of like some kind of education or some kind of work or some kind of whatever, or some kind of art or whatever, we're always just like the best that anybody's ever seen. Like people are always like how is this happening? Like, well, it's all for a product of the religion. The religion forces us to be the best, because if we all practice the religion of Islam and the recommendations, all the things that God recommended for us to do or commanded for us to do, and we follow all of it, the outcome is going to be really, really great. Like, I'll give you an example. If I'm a father and I drink alcohol, it's very likely any kids that I give birth to are going to become alcoholics. It's just going to be, it's epigenomic. It's in their DNA already. Their liking of what I like, because I already, it's programmed in their DNA. So like if I smoked weed, or if I smoked crack cocaine or whatever, then and I went and had a baby, that baby is going to be predisposed to liking those things. That's just an example. Like, people don't understand how far that goes. Like, how many people actually think about like what I'm doing right now and how it's gonna bring out my kids in the future, or how it's gonna make their lives be. How many people think about that? Like, but God tells us about it. Like a perfect example of this is Mary, the mother of Jesus. Um, they kept accusing her of fornicating, like having sex outside of marriage and getting impregnated, and then according to the Israeli way that Mary had to die and Jesus had to die. So when she finally came back, and she finally did come back after having a baby in the woods all by herself with the angel Gabriel, he was the only one who came to help her. Um, he convinced her to go back. He said, like, your God will take care of you. So he won't let those bad things happen. So she went back, and the first thing they wanted to do was kill her and the baby. And they kept accusing her of fornication, which is sex without marriage. And so that's what they do. They kill the baby and they kill the mom. And then the first miracle that Jesus did, because Jesus had this miracle where he spoke like a grown human being as a newborn baby. That was a miracle he had. That's according to the Quran. It tells us, and Quran tells us that he spoke to the people because they wanted to kill him and kill Mary right away. And it was only because he was able to speak that that they let them go. And then you gotta think that the Israeli people kept saying Jesus is a fake prophet. He's not really a prophet, even though he was born in all these miracles. His whole life was miracles. Even talking as a newborn baby is a miracle by itself. That never, almost never happens. It has happened in the present times, but it's very rare, super rare, and they're usually like God's special people. In my opinion, I almost think that like they're talking to who you don't see. Like they might be talking to angels. They might have a lot of dreams where they do a lot of practice talking with all different beings that visit them, stuff like that. You never know what's really going on. So the big question is, if I talk about a dream and I say like, angel said this, angel said that, people will always question like, is that a demon? How do we know that's not a demon? Why do you think that's an angel? Well, I have a whole lifelong history of angels coming to me all the time. Like, what that basically made me figure out is that before I was on Earth and I lived in the land of souls, that I talked to them a lot. They talked to me a lot. And I probably learned how to recite Quran. I recited it a lot. Like, I was really close to them because as soon as I came into the earth, since before I could talk, angels are close to me, around me all the time. Like, I know they want to be my friends. I know they want to never leave. I just know. I can tell by how they act. The angel of death was the first one I remember. He's. I talked about how scary he is. He's scary looking, scary acting. He never talks. He just stares at you. It makes you freak out. But that's just the way he is. Then eventually I always knew that one day angels would start talking to me a lot. I could tell they like me a lot, but I never knew why. I could tell they like me a lot. They keep coming around, and I had to tell them to leave me alone, and then they would leave me alone. That's how you know they're not demons. Demons won't ever listen to you. It's just let's put it this: call whatever other beings what you want. We can just call them all aliens. So every alien being acts based on what elements they were made out of. So their actions are related to their elements. Like so, demons are made from smokeless fire. Fire um, is told through Islamic text that it's not stable and you can't control it and all this stuff. There's descriptions of it. So that's how like demons are. They're not stable. They can't stop lying. They always lie. They just cannot stop lying. Like one way you know a dream is from demons is it never stays the same. The story never stays the same. Somebody like, hey, that character wasn't in this dream the first time. And how come this other character he got stabbed? He didn't get stabbed last time. He got burnt to death. What is going on here? Why does the story keep changing? Because it's demons. Demons can't stop that. They're fire. They're made from fire. Angels are made from light. They're super perfect. That's why God made angels from light. He, God knew how the angels affect the beings that they're made out of.